Everyone again, Ayubonda, may you live long, as we say in Sri Lanka. And it's quite an honor also to have all of you, including our Councillor General, Mr. Nalinda, also speaking with the particular project, the performance. So in Sri Lanka, we have three dance forms. We have Udarata, Pahatarata, Sabaragumu. I'm going to perform Kandian dance or up-country dance, which has a history which goes behind about 2,000, 3,000 years or beyond rather, and it has several myths mingled with this particular story, which I'm going to share in due time. And according to the custom, I will start today's presentation with a blessing according to the prestigious Amunugama repertoire in Kandy, where my guru lives. So this piece is beautifully choreographed by my dear teacher, Guru, Dr. Wijesiri Rajapaksha, and percussion artists Sarath, Wijesiri, Sachindra, Pallewatta, and Dananja, Thalgahagoda. So this is a blessing which we seek from all the deities, God, and Kandian dancer is someone who's considered to be the person who passes all those blessings to all the human beings, all the mortal beings around. So let's see how effective it is. We'll first start with this ode to art and blessing. I love that piece. Not only because it's a blessing, but also it's a, hopefully good warm-up as well. So, right. Any questions? So far?
I'd like to ask about the costume.
Yes.
So, is there sort of significance to the bracelet?
It is.
The chest piece, the hat, there's a lot of elements.
Oh, it is indeed. And you can see some mangoes here as Pooh highlighted a few minutes ago. Here, no? Mango.
Oh, okay.
We love mango, in South Asia. Alright. So, I'll tell you. That question is a very good question, in fact, because it leads me to the next segment, where I'm going to share the story of this Kandian dance. It was the year 543 BC where this all started, according to the most popular myth in Sri Lanka, where an Indian prince, King Vijaya, landed on the shores of Sri Lanka. This prince was banished from India because he was a bit unruly, a lot unruly, and he was in fact a naughty boy, very naughty. Okay, so he landed in Sri Lanka. The first thing he realized was a beautiful woman. That's very wrong. He didn't realize the woman first. First he realized the soil of Sri Lanka. On the shores of Sri Lanka, the soil, the sand, is bronze in color. So he called it Tambapanni or Tambaravarni, which says, oh, it's very nice bronze colored sand we have in this country. So then he gets into an affair with the indigenous princess of Sri Lanka called Kuveni. They got married. They had 2 kids, in fact. Then, at a point, this prince, who's now the emperor of Sri Lanka, decides that it's a bit boring to have an indigenous exotic beauty next to me. She's also nice, but I would like to have a bit of a royal bloodline from the India. So he abandons Kuveni, this princess, and he brings a princess named Madhurapura Kumari from India. So heartbroken Kuveni got banished, and Kuveni went up to that. Kuveni was always a yes person for this prince Vijay. So then at a point Kuveni had to poison her own clan to help Vijaya in promoting his regime. So now Kuveni can't go to her relatives. No, she has the husband, and she has 2 kids also. Wonderful, isn't it? So then this heartbroken Kuveni sings her lament in a very sorrowful way, which I'm going to share. It's all about chanting. The repertoire, when it comes to Kandyan dancing repertoire, one of the first two segments of the whole repertoire is about this sadness. So, she says, and another thing, our Ku is a great North Indian musician as well. Would you like to play Thampura?
Oh, right, okay, that's what I said.
This is Thampura. She is an expert, and if you would have listened, please.
Okay,
thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
So, Kuveni sings her lament as, "Oh my dear love, I'm alone now. Who would care for me? Who would care for my two little ones?" So she sings, if I wait till our cook friend gets ready.
Sorry.
No, please, I should say, sorry. Dan sondura taniva mama. She continues. Supina somi one. She says how the things which used to bring comfort for her now only bring pain and sorrow. The beautiful petals of fragrant flowers which has been spread on my bed now prick like thorns. The coolness of sweet sandalwood scent breezes. What a lovely thing. Now, like fire everywhere, burns me. And the birds, oh, those beautiful birds, which sing melodious music, spike my ears like thorns. So, this sorrow, this sadness leads her to ultimate anger and wrath. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So there's a whole segment in the Kandyan repertoire which describes about her anger and sadness. Then she somehow or the other summons up courage to go to her relatives, home is a home as they say. So she goes with her 2 feet to her house. And there comes Sir Isaac Newton. To be precise, Sir Isaac Newton's third law. Anyone remember the third law of Sir Isaac Newton? Yeah, that's like the shortest, and even in the shortest law I remember only a teeny bit. It says every action has a reaction, etc., etc.
Yeah.
There we go. So then, the relatives already have reservations of what Kuveni did for her own plan. So what happens is, these relatives got together and stoned her to death. But luckily the two children managed to escape according to the mythology, and the indigenous people called Veddas in Sri Lanka, that community started from these children. So then while dying, this Kuveni cursed. And the curse, it described very clearly how many curses and how and all. I won't go that far. She curses, and one of the curses, due to this curse, King Vijaya, the prince who abandoned her, dies. And Prince Vijaya's successor was another king named Panduwasdev, you know, Sri Lankan names, or Vasdev Kaka, all that are there, no? This sort of curse falls upon this poor fellow as well, who didn't know head or tail about this mishap. Then, to cure this, all of a sudden, as you may have heard, Sri Lanka was called at a time the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. So this Pearl of the Indian Ocean transforms into kind of a teardrop of the Indian Ocean, because now there's no proper king, there's no proper ruler. What can be done? So in Hinduism we have the boss of all the gods called God Indra. So in Buddhism we call him God Sakra. So God Sakra realizes this and he gets one god, then that god passes the particular operation to another likewise. So then finally they find a person who can heal this king, Sri Lanka's disease, the king who's very ill, gravely ill. So, and this healer is another king who comes from a land called Malaya Desha. Some say it's from India and some say it is from Malaysia, your country, Dashi. Yeah? So, some say, yeah, who knows, yeah? No wonder, we just came across the other day and you were talking about Sri Lanka and all. Anyway, so they bring this king who's supposed to be born out of a flower, like this, flower, and who has the powers to heal. So then this king comes, he heals this particular diseased king, and then he sort of passed this healing ritual, the powers down to few Sri Lankan people, along with his costume, along with his regalia that the king used to wear. So this regalia that I am in is believed to be that king's regalia who had the healing powers. And to answer your question, all these parts are dedicated to God. So this part, the mango, is dedicated to a goddess named Pattini, who is in charge of